Have you ever realized that the music in your favorite movie or video game is basically telling you a secret story? Yeah, it's like this hidden language, a secret code that's been around for over 100 years. It's designed to make you feel pumped or scared or totally heroic, all without you even thinking about it. So let's crack this code together. I mean, think about it. You're deep into a video game, right? And suddenly, that music kicks in. The intense, heart-pounding track. Before you even see the giant monster, your body already knows. It's boss time. You're already gripping the controller tighter. See? You already understand the secret language. The real question is, how did we all learn to speak it? To figure that out, we've got to go all the way back to the very first level, the silent film era. And honestly, the first mission for movie music had nothing to do with art. Not really. It was all about fixing a super annoying technical problem. Okay, so you have to picture this. The first movie theaters were loud. The projectors were these giant, clunky, mechanical beasts that just chugged and whirred through the whole show. It was super distracting. So filmmakers needed a fix, and their solution was the first big tech unlock: live music. They'd hire a piano player or even a small orchestra to just play over the noise. And hey, as a bonus, it also filled that kind of awkward, emotional silence of the movie itself. And this created something really, really cool. Since the music was being played live, every single time you went to see a movie, it was a completely unique experience. You could see the same film on Tuesday and again on Friday, and it might have a totally different vibe, a different soundtrack. It was like getting a live concert with every movie ticket. Wild, right? But, live music could only go so far. The real game changer, the next massive level up for filmmakers, was finding a way to perfectly lock the music to the action on screen. It was time to unleash the full power of the orchestra. And that new power-up was synchronized sound. This was revolutionary. For the first time ever, the sounds you heard were perfectly timed to what you saw. They figured out how to literally print the sound waves as a visual pattern right onto the film strip itself. So now, every punch could have a thwack, and every character could have their own personal theme song. And that brings us to this super important concept called a leitmotif. It sounds fancy, but it's really simple. It's basically a character's signature tune. Think of it like a wrestler's entrance music. The second you hear that guitar riff, you know exactly who's coming down the ramp. Composers started doing the exact same thing in movies. And this technique, that's basically a cheat code for the audience. When you hear the hero's big, soaring theme, you feel inspired. But when you hear that low, creepy little melody, you know the villain is hiding in the shadows, even if you can't see them. The music is feeding you secret intel about what's happening in the story. So let's do a quick recap of the first 50 years. We start in the 1900s with pianos just trying to drown out noisy machines. Then in the 20s, boom, we unlock synchronized sound. By the 1940s, we're using these massive orchestras to make movies feel absolutely epic. It was an amazing progression. But then, the rules started to change. Right around the middle of the century, filmmakers decided to experiment with some new character builds. They wanted movies to feel different, more modern, maybe a little more real. And if the picture was going to change, the music had to change too. The giant orchestra wasn't the only way to play the game anymore. So what did this new build sound like? Well, instead of these huge, sweeping symphonies, composers started pulling in jazz and pop music. And this was a huge deal. It was like changing a video game soundtrack from like a high fantasy epic to a gritty modern city adventure. It instantly made crime movies feel more dangerous and dramas feel more like real life. But here's the twist. While pop music was making movies feel more real, some directors wanted to make them feel unreal. And that's when something totally new arrived: electronic instruments. Suddenly, you had these sounds that were just completely alien and futuristic. This was the next big leap, especially for sci-fi and horror movies that needed to sound like they were from another planet. And that, of course, brings us to the digital revolution. This is the moment where composers basically unlocked God mode. All of a sudden, with computers, you could create literally any sound you could imagine. The rulebook wasn't just rewritten, it was thrown right out the window. So how does it even work today? Well, composers use a program called a digital audio workstation, or a DAW. The easiest way to think about it is like GarageBand on your phone, but cranked up to a professional God-tier level. They can use virtual instruments to build an entire orchestral score on a laptop, tweak every single note until it's perfect, and then bring in live musicians just to add that final touch of human soul. This digital power completely changed the game. The 1980s, for example, were totally ruled by the synthesizer. All those classic action and horror movies from back then, they got their iconic electric vibe from these keyboards. It was this cool, clean, futuristic sound that basically defined the whole decade. So where are we now? Well, today's composers are all about what you could call the ultimate hybrid build. It's not about choosing just one style. It's about taking the best parts of everything we've talked about and mashing them all together to create something new. And this chart kind of shows you what a modern blockbuster score is made of. Yeah, you've still got that big emotional orchestra doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but now it's layered with heavy electronic beats, moody synths, and even weirdly processed vocal sounds. You get the best of every single world. And the tools they have now are just insane. They can literally record any sound, a car door slamming, a fork hitting a plate, and turn it into a musical instrument. They can pull up thousands of virtual instruments from all over the world on their computer. They even have AI that helps them organize their ideas. It's a whole new level of creative freedom. But look, after all this history, all this incredible tech, the most important message is actually pretty simple. It doesn't matter if it's a single piano in a noisy theater or a supercomputer creating sounds no one's ever heard before. The goal of movie music has never, ever changed. Its one job is to bypass your brain and hit you right in the feels. It's there to make you feel the story. So, we've gone from just covering up projector noise to building entire sonic worlds on a laptop. The evolution has been absolutely wild. Which really just leaves one last question. What's the next level up? What new sound, what new tool will the next generation of storytellers unlock to make us feel something completely new?